What's going on, everyone? My name is Paul, I go by the Smrtman, and in today's video I am here in blistering cold Pittsburgh and I am reviewing this. This car is a 2013 Mini Cooper S Countryman all-4, and I know that's a mouthful. But anyways, let's get out on the road, let's drive this car, and let me give you guys a detailed review of what I think of this Mini Cooper. Now, as a disclaimer, this isn't actually my car. I rented this car on Turo, and if you don't know what Turo is, Turo allows you to rent everyday people's cars. Think of it kind of like an Airbnb of cars. This Countryman was only $60 a day on the Turo app, and so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and rent the Countryman. The first thing I want to talk about with this Mini Cooper is actually the key itself. It is a circle. It kind of reminds me of my original smart car key. Has the Mini logo here in the middle. Then you have your trunk, your lock, and your unlock buttons here. This piece actually slides into the dash. It's kind of like you're in a fighter jet and you have to insert this key and then power on all systems. So this is the Mini Cooper Countryman. We have all the red accents. We have the bonnet stripes. We have the mirrors. We have the stripes down the side. This example does have the black 17-inch mini wheels. I'm going to be going over some of the things about a 10-year-old Mini Cooper. So I was going to pop open the hood for y'all so we could check out the engine in this car, but the latch is broken, so that's not good. And also it kind of makes you wonder, are they hiding something? What's wrong with this car? But I can't get in here, and this is somebody's personal car, right? So I expect, you know, there's always going to be something a little different, and that's why I like Turo though, because you get to see cars in the real world. I can't see under the hood, so I don't know what these are for, but I'm assuming they funnel towards the brakes because they go with that kind of direction. So you got one on each side. I really wish it had a hood scoop because that would really awesome. Coming around the side, you guys, you can actually see just how small this car is. I am 6 foot tall, for example, and it's still shorter than me, and it's an SUV. Now, I really like the side profile of these cars. I love the boxy shape, but it's not like a cube or a Soul where it's just so boxy. You still get beautiful curves in this car with the boxy shape. So for example, this windshield right here, this windshield is curved all the way around. It kind of reminds me of like a Koenigsegg windshield, how it's just kind of really curved. And come around the back, and this isn't just a straight back, it curves around. And I really like how they spaced out the Countryman lettering. Gives it kind of a wider appearance and it looks more upscale. It has dual exhaust. This car, you can't hear the exhaust at all. Even when you pop into sport mode, you can't hear anything. And that's unfortunate. So we're gonna start with the back of the car and work our way forward. So to get into the trunk is actually pretty interesting. You actually use this Mini logo itself and push in and lift up. But I can actually sit here in the trunk of a Mini Cooper. Pretty interesting. Now, there's actually a cup holder behind me and a tray, which I have no idea why. But yeah, let me try and get out of here. Hold on. Oh, all right. It's easy to get into, not to get out of. This corner is very sculpted. It's flat on this side, come around here. It's kind of flat on this side. It actually protrudes out. Once you see that though, you can't unsee it. Coming around the back side of the car, you actually have decent amount of room. Beautiful leather seats, I love them. You get these little pouches here. It looks like they have a first aid kit here. Like I said, I'm 6 foot and I fit perfectly in here. This is plenty of room for a road trip. Now, I would not recommend utilizing this middle seat, but for 4 people, this car is awesome. I got plenty of room. There's little divots in the seat to keep me comfortable. There's also tons of light because of this beautiful panoramic roof. Whenever a car has these roofs, I just absolutely love it. It's probably one of my favorite features on cars these days. Now, a nice little touch that Mini does is they made it to where they have a mini door seal that's about the size of my hand. That is a really cool quirk of this car. Just like the rear door, you have these Mini Cooper door seals, where these ones are about the size of 2 of my hands, still not large. This car is equipped with these all-season floor mats, which definitely comes in handy here in Pittsburgh. One of my favorite things about this car are these seats. These seats are just beautiful bucket seats. This one's held up very well. This car has 185,000 miles, and it looks like this seat maybe has 60,000 miles of wear on it. So I push the key in, and you get a little display that pops up. It actually shows your speed here in the middle, which I like. And then you get this mini screen here. When you go through it, it's kind of similar to BMW's iDrive system. I turn this knob here, and it turns all the stuff on the display. One little thing I love about this car is that the logo for vehicle info is actually a little Mini Cooper. So adorable. One thing I noticed is that when you go into vehicle status, you actually get a Mini Cooper Countryman, which is really cool. Now up here next to the rear view mirror, you have these toggle switches, which I like. It's really cool that they're on the roof here. You have your normal light. If you hit the panorama roof open button once, so actually tilt both of these roof panels, but hit it again, it closes the back one, and then opens up this front one for a full-on sunroof. You actually have to hold the button the whole time. Now, I know that seems kind of pathetic, but imagine trying to drive and do that. Now, one other really cool thing about this car is it has mood lighting. So right now, the mood lighting is set to purple. If I hit this button, it's now pink, now orange. So that's a really cool feature I like. Down here by the shifter, we have all our toggle switches. So we have our traction control off. So we have a blank spot, which I really wish they would have just put another toggle switch here. You got the lock and unlock button, you got the sport mode button, and then you got the fog light button. You also have your heated seat controls here. This car does have an aux input right next to the handbrake, as well as a USB port for charging, which is really convenient. So this glove box has a USB port too. For this car, you pull it once to go up a gear, push this button down to go down a gear, and it's the same thing for both sides. Come around to the driver's side door, you'll see a lock button for locking the doors. You have your typical mirror controls over here. Now, one thing about this button is it only turns in driver's side mirror. I can't figure out how to get it to do the passenger side mirror. You got the $250 armrest here, which you can lift up. You got this huge handbrake here, which kind of is like a lever. You have to pull it up and down. This is probably the cheapest feeling thing in the whole car though, this handbrake here. Let's start with quality. I think that the interior fit and finish of this car is a 9 out of 10. I think it's fantastic. The materials are very nice to the touch. There's not a lot of hard touchy plastics. I do want to mention one thing about this car, and that is this a special car, or does it just blend in with regular traffic? And that's one of the things I like about Mini as a brand in general, is none of their cars just blend in with traffic. I think these cars are very special because they're fun, they're quirky, and you don't see too many Minis driving around. And I think that adds to the prestige of the Mini Countryman. So practicality, this is a small compact SUV, and I think this is a perfect example of what SUVs should be doing. Let's go ahead and get it on the road. I think it's a fun and cool, unique SUV, and I know you guys are cracking up at the fact that I said SUV, but this is Mini Cooper's idea of an SUV. I'll tell you what, stepping into this car, it does not feel like 10 years old. This car is very smooth to drive. It's very quiet. This car handles very nicely. I can steer the car exactly where I want it to go. The handling reminds me of my Fiat 500 Abarth. So this car has 181 horsepower coming out of an inline turbocharged 4-cylinder. You might be thinking 181 horsepower, that's not too much, but you gotta remember, these are small cars. Now, this car, being small, does not weigh small car numbers. This car comes in at 3,208 pounds. Once you start adding more options, it gets heavier and heavier. And you can definitely feel that this car has some weight behind it compared to other similar cars in this class. Being a small car with a small 1.6 liter engine, this car gets 25 here in the city, 31 on the highway. It's not the best numbers, but if you're looking for fuel economy, you probably don't want to be buying this. As everybody knows, the Mini brand is owned by BMW, and there's a lot of that BMW build quality in here, which is good and bad. Everybody knows that BMW is great at building nice luxury cars, but that their engines aren't the best. Even though it's a larger size Mini, It still has 102-inch wheelbase, which is hilarious being that this is the large Mini. This transmission in this car is a $1,200 option, and it's a Steptronic transmission. This navigation system was a $1,500 option on this car. The center armrest in this car is a $250 option. An armrest, $250, holy moly. Heated seats are another thing that this car has, which is a $500 option. They start off relatively cheap, but once the options start getting added on, it becomes a very pricey car. The speed indicator bubble, it's like a bubble level. It kind of reminds me of like you're filling up your coffee pot and the water's going higher and higher. And it just goes around this navigation system. Pretty funny, I like that quirky little thing about it. Driving around town, this car is fun. If I put it in sport mode down here, it shifts a lot higher up in the RPM range and it holds onto those gears a lot longer. Man, throttle response on this car when you're in sport mode is so amazing. It's a whole different car. So I'm about to go up this hill. Let's go. Woo! Wow. Holy moly, this car is quick. In automatic mode, you can't tell that this car is that quick. I was probably about 50% on the throttle. Oh man. Yeah, this is a fun little car. Now, it's not my car, so I don't want to like hoon it or anything like that. But even just sprinting up this hill a little quicker than normal, you can really see the whole S part of this car come alive, the sport portion of the Mini Cooper Countryman. Now, paired that with the all-wheel drive, and this is the perfect car for example this climate, Pittsburgh. Just sprinting on this little road, so much fun, so much fun. So that is my review of this 2013 Mini Cooper S Countryman all 4. I think this is a great car. I do worry a little bit about reliability. It's going to be expensive to maintain, yes. But if you do maintain it, it should last, just like this model. This little car has done over 185,000 miles and it's reliable as all get up. So great little car here. In my previous video, I did prank Cody and told him I bought another small car.
What? Life is the key. You made me think it was something for me.
If you guys want to check that out, check out my last video. As always, you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Peace.